Hi, this video is on section 5.1. So we're just starting chapter 5, which is ratios and proportions. And section 1 is this introduction to ratios. What's ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two quantities, okay? And as an example of, I've put up here a pot of a rice recipe, a white rice recipe. 2 cups of rice I use for 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water, and a teaspoon of salt. All right, that's what you do. Bring it to a boil, reduce the heat, cover, simmer 20 minutes, all set. Okay, but so if I want to compare the amount of rice and the amount of water, the comparison of two quantities, in this case, the comparison of rice and water, okay, we would have 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of water. So let me write this as a ratio. There are 3 ways we're going to express this ratio. One of them is 2 to 4. Another one is red. They're all red, 2 to 4, but you can write it with the word 2. We can write it with a colon, or we can write it in fraction form as 2 to 4, 2 over 4. Okay, so that's the ratio. One of the things we need to check is, just like in a fraction, we want to write them in lowest terms. We call it simplest terms here for the ratio. Okay, so we reduce a ratio into simplest form the same way we reduce a fraction into lowest terms. Okay, so for this ratio of 2 cups of water, 2 cups of rice to 4 cups of water, 2 goes into 2 1 time, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. The simplest form is 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Okay, so let's go ahead and pause. Let's go ahead and move on to your worksheet. So number 1 on the worksheet is write the ratio in simplest form. So 4 to 7. And the multiple choices in that fraction representation. So we're going to use 4. The first number goes in the numerator. The second number goes in the denominator. So it's 4 to 7. And then you check to see if it's in lowest terms, and it is. So 4 over 7 is the ratio in lowest terms. Let's go ahead and look at number 2, $25 to $70. So 25 goes in the numerator, 70 goes in the denominator, and now you want to, so that's the ratio, but in simplest form, we want to reduce. So 5 goes into 25 5 times, and 5 goes into 70. Sometimes you know, and sometimes you don't. 14 times. Okay, so 5 goes into 70 14 times. So this is 5 over 14. Okay, and that's in simplest form. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is this idea of a rate. So a rate is a ratio of unlike quantities. Rates that sometimes come to mind is that we might travel 65 miles per hour. So it's miles an hour, and miles an hour, unlike quantity. So when we state that, it's called a rate. Back to the rice, I had 2 cups of rice to 1 teaspoon of salt, and the rate here would be 2 cups rice to 1 teaspoon salt. And that's in its lowest terms as well. So we'll just kind of have that. So the next thing, we're going to look at problem number 3 and 4 on the worksheet. And those are about rates. Write the rate in the simplest form. 261 miles in 29 minutes. So we're going to write the first number in the numerator, 269 miles, and that's in 29 minutes. And if that, we have to take a minute and think about whether or not that's in simplest form. That is, does 29 and 261 have any common factors? Well, I remember that 29 is prime. So the only possible factor here would be is if 29 goes evenly into 261. So I'm going to try that out over here. I'm going to do this division. And if we come up with an integer, basically what I'm doing is I'm working on, I'm trying to factor 261, get a factor tree for 261. So 29 does not go into 2, it does not go into 6. It does go into 261, how many times? Maybe 9. Let's try that. 29 times 9. 81, 18, and 8. Okay, so 29 times 9 is 261. Okay, so 29 goes into 261 9 times, and 29 goes into 29 1 time. So the rate in simplest terms is going to be 9 miles per 1 minute. Miles per minute. So that gives us an idea. A little more easy to understand, 9 miles in 1 minute than 261 in 29. So that's the idea of it being simpler. And then the next problem is 40 printers for 12 computers. 40 printers for 12 computers. That's the rate that we need printers for computers. That's a lot of printers for 12 computers, but who knows what's going on those computers. So we'll go ahead and write this first as a rate, 40 printers in the numerator, and the second value goes in the denominator, 12 computers. All right, now we want to write this in simplest terms. And I look and I note that 4 goes into 40 and 4 goes into 12. So 4 goes into 40 10 times. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So my rate in simplest terms is going to be 10 printers for 3 computers. Okay. All right, so I'd like, I'm just going to check that that's right before we go on to the next 4 problems are for you to do on your own. Number C, yeah, letter C, yes, I think we are all set. So press pause and complete problems 5 through 8, and then press play and we'll go over the next section. Hi, so welcome back. I want to pick up with the worksheet. We're going to work on the next 4 or 5 problems and then take another break. So we're going to work on unit rate. So the rate, this is a unit rate, is a rate with the denominator equal to 1. So we're going to look at these two, number 9, we're asked to, let's see exactly, determine the unit rate, okay? So over here, let's set up the rate. It's 195 miles over 5 hours. So we want to determine the unit rate, and that is we want to have the denominator being equal to 1. So since this is a 5, I want to divide both numerator and denominator by 5. So it's going to be 195 over 5, or 5, and 5 over 5. So 195 goes into 5. So just working through this, it's 39. Okay. So 5 goes into 95 39 times, and 5 goes into 5 1 time. And so we have a unit rate of 39 over 1. And in this case, it's 39 miles per 1 hour, or 39 miles per hour. Okay. And now, so really what all we have to do to calculate a unit rate is divide numerator and denominator by whatever number is in that denominator. So in this case, we have 10, for number 10 cents for 5 marbles. I'm going to divide numerator and denominator by whatever is in the denominator. So it's a 5. So 5 goes into 10 2 times, and 5, of course, goes into 5 1 time. So this is 2 cents per marble, per 1 marble. Okay. So that is its unit rate. Actually, it's also its unit price. So a unit price is the price of one item. If I wanted to buy 1 marble, it would cost me 2 cents. Okay, so moving on to number 11, we're asked to find the unit price of the trim for a costume costs $63.75 for 7.5 yards of trim. So let's first write that as the rate, which would be $63.75 over 7.5 yards. I'm going to go ahead and it's $63.75, right? So those are our units, dollars over yards. And to get the unit price, I need to divide everything by 7.5, because that will force the denominator to be 1 yard, and then we'll know how much it costs. So the problem that we're looking at here is, how many times does 7.5 go into 63.75? So this is fraction division. We're going to move the decimal place once to the right, and then go ahead and make sure we put it up there. And I'll pause the video here. You guys just figure out the long division problem, and I'll meet you back in a second. Okay, and so this is my long division problem. We were looking at 7.5 into 63.75. I move the decimal place once and then follow out as if it was whole number long division. And what I get is 8.5. So what I have for my unit price is $8.5 per 1 yard. So 1 yard of trim is costing $8.5. All right, we're going to go ahead and try the other problem. This one's got the easier arithmetic to it, but we're going to look at, we want price per ticket, and we know we have $9 for 3 tickets, right? You can also write that as $9. If you like working with the units a little more explicitly, so this is what I did in the other one. Both of these representations are fine. I just want you to be able to read both. Okay, and so we're going to divide numerator and denominator by 3, and 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So this is $3 for 1 ticket. The price of 1 item or unit is ticket is $3. Okay, and next we're going to look at problem number 13. And problem number 13 says, which is a better buy? 4 pencils for 32 cents or 16 pencils for $1.44. So what we're going to do to determine which is a better buy is we're going to find the unit price under option A and under option B, right? So we can buy them. The first option is 4 pencils for 32.32. That's 32 cents or 0.32 of a dollar. Okay, that's option A. Option B gives me 16 pencils for $1, $1.44 or $1.44. Okay, so let's write these out as rates and then find unit price. Four pencils for $0.32, and let's get the unit price here. We have to take the 0.32 and bring it into 4. Okay, this division problem, we'll move the decimal point twice to the right, and to clear the decimal point on the outside number. And so we have to move the decimal point twice to the right on the inside number. Take a moment for the long division. Okay. And we'll come back and check it out in just a moment. Okay, so here's a long division. We had 0.32 into 4, and then we moved the decimal place twice to the right. So we have 32 into 400. Okay, and I got 12.5. And so I get so I just realized I wrote my ratio upside down. So let's go ahead and rewrite this ratio. Excuse me. Okay. So for this problem, so I just fell into the hole that I hope you do not fall into. Option A was 4 pencils for $0.32. All right, and we are looking for the price of 1 item. So we have to have the item in the denominator and the money in the numerator, not the other way around, okay, which is what I did. So hopefully you guys caught me, or at least you understand my error, and now we can move forward to write this. We want in the denominator 1 pencil. Okay, so we're gonna, here we have 4 into 0.32, 4 into 32 right, goes in 8 times. Okay, so this is then 8 cents for 1 pencil. Good? That's under option A. Let's go ahead and find the unit price under option B, but let's make sure again that we put the pencils in the denominator. Can you believe I did that on video? Oh, okay. I'm glad we're amongst friends, guys. All right, so for $1.44, I can get 16 pencils. I'm going to want to divide the 16 into 1.44. Okay, and we see that 16 times 9 is 144. So 16 goes into, does not go into 1, does not go into 14, but goes into 144 9 times. And we subtract the 144, get 0. So we're all set with the division. And so then the unit price is 9 cents per pencil. Okay, and now these are the two values that we can compare, 8 cents per pencil to 9 cents per pencil. Which one's a better deal? Option A, 8 cents per pencil. Let's check the final answers, and then you're gonna move on to wrap up the worksheet. Let me know if you have any questions. Yes, okay, so this is the better deal, option A. All right, see you in the next video.